Wow, right? That is a wow. Can you imagine being a Knicks fan right now? Seriously, can you imagine being a New York Knicks fan and losing that game in that fashion? That is devastating. That is a devastating loss for New York. And I got to tell you, Rick Carlisle is a great freaking coach. He really is. And Tyrese Haliburton, oh boy. I mean, Kings fans, how do you feel right now watching him excel in the postseason and being the man? Unfreaking believable. What a game. What an absolute game. And again, if you're the Knicks, there is no way you lose that game. No way. No way. No way you lose that game if you're the Knicks. That to me, I can't remember a worse loss for the Knicks than that one tonight. Wow. Give credit to the Indiana Pacers. Talk about a team. Incredible. And you know, the Knicks, let's be honest, the Knicks are really good, but they're Jalen Brunson. Right? And Karl Anthony Towns was tremendous tonight. And they've got good role players. But boy, Brunson's unbelievable, isn't he? What a star. What a star. Man, what an absolute classic. An NBA classic tonight with the Pacers in overtime winning. Man, unfreaking believable. Incredible. What a game. Glad to have you with us here on If You Don't Like That. We are about 15 minutes later than scheduled, but there is no way I'm coming on in the middle of overtime. That was not going to happen, right? I was like, I think we'll come on after overtime. Man. Said it exposes how bad the Kings are at management. It's been pretty bad, that's for sure. Gosh. Hey, James, you know what? Every player will miss a free throw, just like the best golfers in the world miss putts. It's part of sports. Boy, Tyrese Haliburton, a draft pick of the Sacramento Kings. He's just got that, right? He's got it. Like, you can call it moxie, call it whatever you want, but he has it. He has it. Wow. I mean, unfreaking believable. Seriously. Patrick, I don't know how you're doing tonight, man. I mean, I do know how you're doing, but I feel bad for you. Self-destruction is exactly what happened. You know, and it didn't help that, you know, I thought when Brunson picked up his fifth foul, but the Pacers actually, the game got away from them after Brunson picked up his fifth foul. What was it, a 10-0 run or more than that with Brunson on the bench? Man. All right, there are the links right there. You see them. Kings, or the Knicks, rather, didn't make their free throws down the stretch. No, they missed too many. We had a 2. You even knew then. Yeah, I mean, you don't know with 100% certainty, but yes. Listen, let's not act like the Kings got chopped liver back, okay? They got a multiple-time All-Star in return. Would I rather have Haliburton? Yeah, I would. But I mean, let's also acknowledge that the Kings became a much, much better team when they got Sabonis. So, you can't just ignore that. Jake says that was a horrible choke job by the Knicks tonight. Tough loss. Stephen A. Smith is crying. He'll probably make it a racial issue that they lost. They look like the Kings at the end of the game. Yeah, they did. Patrick says the Knicks actually played well when Brunson went out for that stretch. They did. No question. Yes, they did. Let's get to some phone calls. Dirk, you'll lead us off. Dirk, how's it going?
Oh, man, that was an amazing game, Grant. I'm sorry. I assume you're rooting for New York, so a little rough for you, but there's something special about this.
I'm not rooting for New York. I'm not rooting for anyone. I don't have a favorite team in the NBA anymore, so I'm just rooting for a good game. I have no rooting interest at all in this game. Zero.
I'm happy for Knicks fans for them to overcome the Celtics. And then I saw some of the Knicks fans' reactions, and I'm actively rooting against them. But man, there's something about this Pacers team. Just I've been following them all postseason, and it's just they're playing for each other,
Yep.
especially on the offensive side. Just how good that offense flows. I'm just I don't call back to the Kings offense that often from the era. We all know what I'm talking about, but
Yep.
there's some of that element here where you just have this team that's just really working together. They know their roles.
Yep.
I mean, just watching Toppin come in for that dunk on. I've seen him do that multiple times this playoff series. It just makes me think back to when we had a good team.
Barring injury, game 2 is almost a must-win game for the Knicks now. If they lose this game 2 on the way they lost tonight, they will not win this series, barring injury.
And how likely do you think? I guarantee you, part of the game plan for the Pacers is going to be run them into the ground. Are you predicting any injuries on the Knicks side?
I was a little worried about Brunson coming back
team?
into the game after his long rest when he had 5 fouls. You always worry about that. Listen, you can't predict injuries, so I wouldn't say I'm worried about it, but you can't predict injuries. Unfortunately, it seems like we've seen a lot of injuries in the postseason so far, and I'm really hoping that doesn't happen in this series because this could really end up being one of the great classics.
Yeah, just that it's New York, Indiana, just alone, just how long they've been. Well, Indiana's been relevant in the same position last time, but I'm just so happy that there's going to be a new champion this year. Right in that prime age, just proves these aging superstars can only get you so far, and it's just an exciting postseason. And this is the series
I can't imagine the New York tabloids in the morning. Oh my goodness. Wow. They're going to destroy the Knicks. The tabloids are going to destroy the Knicks. It is going to be absolutely brutal. Brutal.
Well, don't kill them too much. It's not like
no,
it's
not over. No. It's not. But let's call it the way it is. The Knicks now are facing pretty much a must-win in game 2.
Indiana will give it up on their home floor too. I think they don't have some huge home court advantage that can't be overcome, but there's something special about this team. If they were to, this would be a legendary postseason if they were to win the title. There's a ways to go still, but it's insane how they just are never out of anything.
Dirk, appreciate you calling the show, buddy. Have a good evening. Thank
you
you
as well, Grant.
Good way to start it off. Yeah, of course, this series is not over. It's one game, but that is a devastating loss. It's similar to the loss that the Celtics had in game 1, right? Very similar to that. If you think about it, the Knicks went into Boston and they were down 20 and won that game. And the Celtics never recovered from that. They lost game 2. Yeah, they blew out the Knicks in game 3, but they lost game 4. But think about that. This is a very similar to what the Knicks just did to Boston in the previous round. I mean, very, very similar. What a game. What a game. And by the way, how do they miss the foul on Toppin's dunk? I mean, how does that happen? That put Indiana up by 3 then. That would have given Indiana a chance to go up by 2 possessions. And it wasn't like a little touch foul. There's no way you miss a foul like that. That's a horrible missed call in that situation. You cannot miss in this game of this magnitude. You cannot miss a call like that. That was brutal. That was a bad missed call right there. If the Pacers can find a way to win game 2, I believe this series will be over in 5. I don't disagree with that. I think if the Knicks were to lose the first 2 games at home, I'm with you. I think it could be over in 5. I don't disagree with that. I agree they would have sealed the game. Well, you don't know if he would have made the free throw or not, so you can't say that. If he had made the free throw, yes. What a game. What a freaking game. What's interesting is the Knicks have been crazy amazing with the lead late. Yep. Haliburton is way better than Fox as far as being a leader. I don't disagree with that at all. I think that's very evident. Yeah, you think? I mean, let's just call it the way it is. If you took a poll before the playoffs began, would you rather have Tyrese Haliburton or De'Aaron Fox? Kings fans would have still picked Fox. I mean, would have still picked Haliburton, in my opinion, over Fox. In my opinion, it would have been 70% to 30%. Now I think it would be 95% to 5%. That's how I see it. Man, what a ball game. What a freaking ball game. An absolute classic. An absolute classic. Incredible. Hey, New Works Plumbing, don't forget about them. If you have plumbing needs, you have a repair that you have to get done, New Works is great. They're available 24/7, so they'll be there for you. All right? You got the number, the website, or I use newworksplumbing.com, NEWWRXplumbing.com, New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you. They're awesome. That's New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you. What a game. What a freaking ball game tonight. And, you know, I was keeping one eye on a hockey game. Boy, what a game. What a third period for the Dallas Stars. They were down in this game going into the third period. All right. They were down 3. You know, we talk about a night of comebacks. They're down against the high-scoring Edmonton Oilers 3-1. Going into the third, they score 5 goals, and they win 6-3. Incredible. Very similar. Different sport. 2 amazing comebacks tonight. 2 amazing comebacks tonight. Amazing. But what a night. What an absolute night. I'm watching hockey. I'm watching the NBA. I love it. And I don't know, you know, I normally will watch hockey over the NBA, but tonight I watched the entire second half of the Knicks Pacers and obviously all of overtime, and I was watching hockey as well. But I made sure. I thought it was a very intriguing game. What a ball game. Seriously. Are the reports true how we traded Haliburton because the Pacers wanted him? They said the Pacers would not take Fox. I believe that to be true based on who I've talked to since the trade and some very, very reliable sources with Indiana. I do believe that. Yankees had a walk-off tonight too. Yes, they did. Dominguez, deep to right field. Dallas Stars scoring 3 power play goals off of 3 different Oiler penalties in a 5 to 6 minute stretch. Yep. They capitalized. Got my Kings Haliburton jersey on too. A lot of action in the paint tonight in the second half. I know that's how you like it. Yeah, I did like that. I did. Very physical game. I like that a lot. Absolutely. Patrick, do you agree with my assessment if the Knicks that this is a must-win game for the Knicks in game 2? To me, it would be very similar to what happened to Boston. You know, you might go into Indiana and win game 3, but I don't think you win both games there. I think you would be so demoralized knowing that you have to win 4 of the next 5 games against Indiana team that's got incredible mojo, that matches up very well with you. That would be hard to get off the mat from. That would be very, very difficult. Very difficult to get off the floor on that one. Matter of fact, I don't think you would. I don't think you would. Patrick agrees with me, yes. A lot of questions about who you root for. Root for whoever you want. Do we root for OKC if it's Indy and OKC in the final? Root for whoever you want. Like, why are you asking me who do you root for? Root for who you want. Give me a call right now. We can talk about this. Wow. What a night. As compared to the Sharks in the 2019 Game 7 comeback against Vegas, where it was 4 power play goals following a Vegas 5-minute major penalty. A penalty that should not have been called, by the way. That was one of the worst calls that I've seen in playoff hockey. Horrible. So let's not forget about that. I know you can say a lot about Boogie's personality, but what do you think of him if we have never traded him? You would have been a pathetic, low-life franchise that would have had nothing but turmoil and firing more coaches and more losses, more suspensions, more vulgarities. It would have been the same thing that you had. Why do you think it would have been any different? The biggest mistake the Kings made is they should have traded him instead of Isaiah Thomas. I've said that for years. They fired the wrong guy, right? Well, I mean, I shouldn't say. They fired the wrong guy. They fired Michael Malone. They should have fired Pete D'Alessandro. They traded the wrong player. They should have traded Cousins and kept Isaiah Thomas. Then you would have had a nice run. Then you would have had a chance. Knicks have never won a 7-game series at home after losing the first. That's been like the stat lately. Patrick, that has no bearing on anything in any way, shape, or form because none of these players were relevant with those stats. So that doesn't mean anything. That's just nonsense. It doesn't matter. I wonder how Stephen A. Smith is feeling right now. He's trying to think of a racial component that he can use to blame the Knicks for the loss. Cousins should have been traded much earlier. Of course he should have. Of course. Absolutely. 100%. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, that's like, for the Sacramento fans that are still delusional over that, wake up. Seriously, wake up. Also, wake up if you're buying a home or selling a home and call somebody you can trust with a ton of experience. That's Connor at Element Mortgage. Get a hold of him at 916-505-1006. That's 916-505-1006. Connor with Element Mortgage. He himself has closed hundreds and hundreds of loans. The team behind him, over 100 years of experience. When it comes to experience and trust, that's Connor from Folsom. Knows the Sacramento market inside and out and all of Northern California. 916-505-1006. Get in touch with Connor with Element Mortgage. What a ball game tonight. We're talking about it here on If You Don't Like That. I'll come on tomorrow after Oklahoma City and Minnesota as well. So we'll do the same time. That's tomorrow at 8 o'clock Pacific. Did the Knicks win the series when Reggie Miller did the choking sign? Yes, I believe they did, right? Well, they played in so many amazing. I'd have to. Reggie Miller in the history of Madison Square Garden is unbelievable. I mean, seriously. That would have been tough for Haliburton. That would have been a rough 48 hours had they lost in overtime after the choke sign there. That would have been he would have been all over the tabloids. He would have been all over talk radio. He would have been public enemy number one. He would have been public enemy number one. Public enemy number one. Grant, you're not a Knicks fan anymore or just don't like the modern NBA? Well, you know, when you go work for a team for as long as I did, you become a fan of that team. So I didn't root for the Knicks from the 80s until now. I can't just all of a sudden jump on the bandwagon. I don't really care for the modern NBA, although I thought tonight's game was great. But for by and large, no, I am not a fan of the modern NBA. I don't root for any team in the NBA now. I've been very open and clear about that. Grant, what happened to Isaiah Thomas? You had a general manager in Pete D'Alessandro that didn't know squat about anything. That's what happened. The game that was the Ewing finger roll game that you lost. Is that it? He lost. Thank you, Patrick. Appreciate it. Mid-90s, Knicks, Pacers, those series were classics. They really were. They really were. They were absolute classics. Man. This is going to be, if the Knicks come back and win game 2, this is going to be one heck of a series. If they come back and win game 2, this is going to be one heck of a series. But that has got to be an unbelievable loss in terms of demoralizing for the Knicks. That's a demoralizing, like you had that game won several times in the fourth quarter and to lose, that is demoralizing. There's no other way to say it. That is a demoralizing. Well, I think it's demoralizing. Now you have a couple of days to get back on the horse and get going again. But oh my goodness, I can't even imagine trying to come back from that game. But I lived through it with the Kings in the Western Conference Finals when they lost Game 4 on the Robert Horry shot, and I went into the locker room and it was like a morgue. And the Kings got the game winner from Mike Bibby in Game 5. So, you can bounce back, and you need to bounce back. And you can't do anything about the game that was just played. So you move on. I mean, I expect the Knicks to even up this series. I think they're too good. I think these are two fairly evenly matched teams. And I think the Knicks will win Game 2. I think so. All Cat had to do is make his free throws, and he would have been up by 4. Well, you could say that. Patrick, did you look at the free throw shooting of the Knicks? It wasn't just Cat. How about Anunoby's missed free throw? That changed everything. I mean, you can't just blame it on Cat. How can we get back to the early 2000 Kings? Get yourself a new owner. Yeah, very sad news about Jim Irsay today. Gone at age 65. They passed away in his sleep. I don't know anything about the player that you're asking me about, so I don't know. I take the best available player, whoever that is, you take him. Doesn't matter what position they play. It would make no difference. The position would make no difference. Well, if you are a Knicks fan, the only thing I can tell you is you can get down to Bennett's, the West Side Grill in Rockland. Get yourself a great meal. Maybe that will help. Prime seafood and steak at Bennett's. If you live in Sacramento, you got a location on Howe and Arden. If you live in Roseville, Eureka and Lead Hill. Prime seafood and steaks at Bennett's. Let me show you the great food here. You also can get the reservations by going to bennettsrestaurants.com. Don't forget about their weekend brunch. It's all there for you at Bennett's. bennettsrestaurants.com. Check it out. You'll be glad that you did. Still talking about this incredible game. Still amazing. MSG is the best arena in the NBA because of the atmosphere and the environment. I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree. Kings need a new owner and a new coach too. Good luck with that. Cody says Bennett's is excellent. I would agree with you. Was Vivek in hire of the Pete D'Alessandro hire because they both joined in 2013? Yes, Vivek hired Pete D'Alessandro after he had already hired a coach. So once again, he did everything backwards. And what did he do this time? Hired his coach before he hired his general manager. Backwards. Everything he does is backwards. We're all wondering, Grant, would you take a job with the Kings have offered? You're the missing piece to the team. I'm definitely not the missing piece. They lost when I was there too, my friend, but thank you. I've never really even thought about it over the last couple of years because it's not going to happen. So I don't deal in hypotheticals. I'm very happy where I live now. I'm happy with doing this show, which I love. I'm keeping all of my doors open for future opportunities. If something comes up that entices me, then I'll look into it. There are certain things I miss about talk radio. There are things I miss about doing play-by-play. But I love doing this format too. I love it. It's great. But I'm keeping all my opportunities open for sure. No doubt about it. Thank you for the question, though. Any thoughts on SGA buying Rolex watches for his team being named MVP? Good for him. Congratulations to SGA too. Good for him. That's great. Show your appreciation. It happens all the time. Quarterbacks always get great gifts to their offensive linemen when they do well. So I think it's tremendous. It's not like he can't afford it. Vivek said in a 2013 interview they are drafting Jimmy because he made 100 threes during practice. I don't know about that. Is Hallie a better player than Fox? Well, there's a lot more that goes into being at the top of your game other than just the actual talent of playing basketball. Hallie has it all. His leadership to me is much better than De'Aaron Fox. And I don't think there are too many people right now in Northern California that if they could go back and make that deal again, would trade Tyrese Haliburton, right? What do you think? Any interest in Hockey Talk Radio? Yeah, I love hockey. Anything with hockey, I love. Amazing game. Off to the Big Island tomorrow to celebrate the wife's 70th birthday on the 27th. Mine was on the 2nd. Love hearing your evening show. Thank you, Rich. Belated happy birthday, my friend. Thank you very much. Well, let's say hello to Lefteris. It has been a long time. Lefteris, how are you, sir? It's good to have you on. Lefteris. I can't hear you, buddy. Lefteris. All right, I'll put you back and we'll see if you can get the audio. I'd love to hear from you. 1,000% Holly better. Holly is a better all-around player than Fox. I don't disagree with that. Here's the other thing. He can make threes, something Fox can't do. Anyway, Rich, have a great time. Have a great time, Rich. The Big Island. Rich has got the life, man. He's all over the world. All over the freaking world. And your wife's 70th on the 27th. Well, will you all wish her a happy birthday, Rich? Cody says, hello, Lefteris. 49er season around the corner. Yes. Here's the, maybe let's see if we got him back now. Lefteris, you got the audio going? How are you, sir? Oh, no. I love Lefteris. I'd love to be able to talk with him. Maybe it's not going to happen tonight. That's all right. We'll get him on another night. Hey, folks, don't forget about EDH Motors Automotive Reimagined. Looking to sell your vehicle? Give David and Adam a call. Two guys trying to do something different and better. You got the number, you got the email, or I'll put their website up. If you're looking to buy a vehicle, go to edhmotors.com, check out their inventory. And remember, if you don't find what you're looking for, not a problem. They'll get it for you. That's what they do. Again, decades of automotive experience. You'll take delivery at the Auto Lounge at the El Dorado Hills Town Center. That's edhmotors.com. EDH Motors, Automotive, Reimagined. The Indiana Pacers, their comeback tonight, absolutely incredible. Hey, Grant, while I wouldn't trade Holly right now if he were a king, I also wouldn't trade Domas, so there's that. Pacers are the definition of you don't need big-name players to be a deep team. I don't know if I would say that. I mean, Pascal Siakam, Haliburton's become that. He's an all-star. I don't know if I would say that. I mean, if you're talking about LeBron, Steph, Giannis, I mean, I don't know if I would. I don't know if I agree with that. No problem, Lefteris. Hope you're doing well, sir. Trade Holly for a small center classic Kings. Well, they traded a non-all-star for an all-star. So, I mean, if I got to be fair here. What did I always say? Takes at least 3 years to analyze a trade, correct? I always say that. Takes at least 3 years to analyze a trade. Here we are, 3 years removed. Who would you rather have? Or let me ask the question this way. If you could make the trade all over again, would you trade Haliburton and Hield for Sabonis? That's the way you look at it. 3 years later, would you trade Haliburton and Hield for Sabonis? Again, you can't analyze a trade right when it happens. It takes time. Just like you can't analyze the Fox trade right now because you don't know what you're going to get back with the draft picks. And I, for one, I think Fox is a good player, but I don't think he's anything more than good. I think he's too inconsistent, and I think his shot is too inconsistent. And I'm not as high on San Antonio as a lot of other people. Do I think that Wembanyama is good? Yeah, I think he can be one of the best, maybe the best player in the league. Do I think Castle's good? Yes. Do I think Fox is good? Yeah, but if he's going to be the quarterback of my team, I don't know. Is the NFL going another season with the racial justice statement? Such an embarrassment. Yep, it is. It's a disgrace. Grant, comparing all-stars versus non-all-stars doesn't work anymore. We've seen our own guys get snubbed multiple times now. It's not an accurate metric of who's good across the league. I don't disagree with that, but we know who's good and who's not, regardless of whether they're an all-star or not. Like, we know Sabonis is really, really good, despite the fact that he's been snubbed from the past 2 all-star games. We get that, but you're right. Did I see this upside in Haliburton? I think everyone saw the upside in Haliburton. I don't think that's like a secret. Tonight's game was a dandy. Oh, boy. Yes, it was. It was a dandy. Many times a dandy. Several times. Domas can't even finish the season and so didn't deserve an all-star. What the hell are you talking about? What are you talking about? What a stupid-ass comment that is. Wow. Why are your daily Grant's Rant no longer available on YouTube but available on your website? Just been trying different things. I like to keep YouTube for this. If you want me to start doing my rants on YouTube, let me know. We can do that. Raiders have a better future because you have a part owner in Tom Brady making football decision and not the owner. Kings need to have a part owner who knows basketball. That's wishful thinking. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. With the Pacers stealing game 1, do I think they win this series? No. It's one game. You got to win 4. Got to win 4. All right, let's get a moment with Michael. Hello, Michael.
Hi, how are you doing, Greg?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. I thought the Knicks and Pacers game looks like a classic rivalry, what we've seen in the playoff. It's not the first time they met. I think they met in the 90s, something like that.
Yeah, of
many,
course,
many
everyone
years.
knows that they've had a rivalry, yes. But these
I
players,
mean,
these players weren't even born when that was going on. So that rivalry
Yeah.
doesn't mean anything to these players.
Many people remember Reggie Miller. Remember that? And
Yeah. Listen, I get all of that, and I'm not trying to come down on you, but you have to understand something. The players that are playing on the floor today, they don't know anything about that rivalry. They weren't born yet for the most part. Do you understand what we're talking about? You can look it up as a historian and a guy that follows sports, and I lived through it, but that rivalry has no relevance to what's going on today. Now, it may with some of the fans that are older, like myself, and maybe I don't know how old you are, but for fans that are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, yes, but to 2 generations, that rivalry doesn't have any bearing because they weren't alive for it. It's like, when I was born, the Yankees had great rivalries and the New York Giants had great with teams that didn't mean anything to me. I wasn't around for that. But anyway, go ahead.
Okay, all right. It's a great game. Game 1 went to overtime. I mean, I couldn't believe Pacers were down 17 with 7 minutes, and then they came back and won. Yeah, it's not the first time they did that. They did it in Cleveland twice. The Pacers.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
twice. I don't. Yeah, if the Pacers continue to be resilient, it's not going to shock me if they're going to make the finals. It's their mental toughness.
I'll tell you, Michael, Game 2 for the Knicks is a must-win. Do you agree?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. You know, if Knicks cannot win this game, this is a big trouble for the Knicks. But
Oh boy.
you know,
Big time.
we'll see. We'll see
Yeah.
how this happens. And I do see. I think the Minnesota versus Oklahoma City will be a much closer game in Game 2 than
I
Game
agree.
1.
I agree.
I think it'll be. They'll make some adjustments though. Usually, it's. I think it'll be much tougher challenge for Oklahoma City the next game. Edwards had a quiet game.
Yep.
But I do expect him to be up for Game 2.
I'm with you. I think it
You
will
know?
be too. Michael, it's always good when you take the time. Thank you very much, man.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
Have a good night, buddy.
You too, Grant. You take
Thank you
care.
very much. Bye-bye
Enjoy
now.
Thailand.
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate you. Bye-bye. Haliburton and Fox together won't make the playoffs. Who cares? You know, like I say, what difference does it make? That's over with. Move on. I mean, Hicks versus the Knicks back in the day. Go Pacers. That's what they called it. Oh my gosh. You're right. Yes. Good job, Michael. See, Michael, you got a fan base out there, buddy. I like that. Always good to have a fan base. Whoever made that trade for Sabonis should be banned from the NBA. You know, you guys act like Sabonis is chopped liver. Like, I mean, stop it already with that nonsense. I mean, please. Unbelievable. I mean, again, you act like the Kings got nobody back in return. They got one of the best bigs in the NBA, period. Amazing. Fox went downhill when he signed with the Clutch. Well, we'll see. It's going to be a big year for him. Going to be a very, very big year for him. Let's get to Andre. Andre, how are you?
Hey, what's up, Grant?
Hey, man, good to have you on. How are you?
I'm doing good. That's good to hear from you.
You
Yeah,
too.
I wanted to speak on the Indiana Pacers, man. It's crazy how they built their team starting from
Yeah.
the ground up, and that
Yeah.
started ever since we let go of Tyrese because we should have kept that guy. And it was a big turning point for their organization when they got him.
Well, it's a trade that right away helped out both teams and probably helped out Sacramento more than Indiana at first when the
Yeah.
Kings the following year won 48 games and then, 46 games a year ago. But the Kings have nothing to show for it.
Yeah, we just couldn't match the trade offers. I mean, we got Sabonis. What's it gonna do? First, only 1 year playoff team get a first round exit, so it's not really. I
No.
mean, people say he's a stat pattern. I don't believe he's a stat pattern. It's just he's not built for playoff success, I guess.
Well, the Kings really also need a point guard desperately this offseason to see
Yeah.
if they can get back to where they were. But
Yeah.
I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, and it starts from ownership, and if your
Of course
owner
it does.
Vivek can't own up to his mistakes, then I think that's a problem because it's too controlling on his end. He wants everything his way, but it's not working.
Yeah. But what do you think? Do you think the Knicks are going to win game 2?
I think they gotta mentally be more prepared because they lost this game as far as mental preparation. It's just too many mistakes of
Yeah. Yep.
it's not discipline.
Too many mistakes is exactly right.
Yeah.
Turnovers. I thought Brunson, when he had 4 fouls, needs to be much smarter than to pick up
Yeah.
his 5th on the play that he did, which took him out of the game. Now, with that said, the
Yeah,
Knicks went on a run, but still, you want Brunson on the floor.
yeah, I agree. I don't. Do you know if Brunson was the reason they were losing this game? Because I believe when he was out, they went on a 10-0 run or something when he was out of the game.
Yeah, no, they went on a big run when he was off the floor. Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so I don't know if he was a factor of them being
Brunson,
too close or.
Brunson's the man for the Knicks. He's their best player. He's the reason
Yeah.
why they're here. So just one of those things.
Yeah, I mean, as far as that 3 he missed at the end of the game, but yeah, I mean, Towns missed it too, but
I've never seen a player in the NBA make every shot.
yeah, that's true. A great talking to you, Grant. Have a good rest of your day.
Andre, thank you. You have a good night. Bye-bye now. Appreciate you. Bye-bye now. Good having him on, and fun talking about this. Don't forget, tomorrow I will be on right after the game as well. Pacers are better long term, though. Yeah, I would think they are. They're in a better position. Kings have no quarterback. Well, I've been saying that for a while. This game, too, boy. That game, too, in Madison Square Garden. Boy, the pressure on the home team, that's going to be something. That is going to be a lot of pressure for the home team. Man. Spot on, Patrick. It was encouraging when they played well without Brunson on the floor, but we need him. He's our captain and our leader. And there's no doubt about that. Brunson airball 3 in overtime, pathetic. No, it wasn't pathetic. You don't know anything about the game. Kings got tired, or the Knicks. I keep on saying the Kings because we keep talking about the Kings. The Knicks did get tired. Yes, they did. I would bet my life that if Holly was a King today, the Kings would still be where they are. It's an ownership issue. Domas is an amazing asset. I don't disagree with that at all, Amir. I do not disagree with that in any way, shape, or form. I'm going to put it right back on there for everyone. I'm with you 100%. I think you're spot on. Pacers defense won the game. Agree? Rock on, Grant Napier. Roy, how are you, sir? Love Roy. Phenomenal. Knicks fans are like Cowboys fans. No, they're not. Very good point. When the Knicks were on the foul line at the end of the game, you could have heard a pin drop. Very, very true. Will the Kings have to overpay to find a good point guard this offseason? Yes. Good question. Yes, they will. Very good question. Yes, they will. Absolutely. Hey, folks, Sunrise Landing, looking to relocate. I've got a great option for you. Sunrise Landing in Calusa, a new residential community from Blazona Development. Beautiful models to choose from, 6 in all. No Mellorews, no homeowners, adjacent to the Calusa Golf and Country Club, and phenomenal access like I-5, Highway 45, Highway 20. Go to CalusaSunrise.com, and remember, this month they have a spring sale going on with special discounts. So go to CalusaSunrise.com and check it out yourself. Sunrise Landing in Calusa. Again, that's CalusaSunrise.com. Good to have you on this show, talking the Knicks and the Pacers in an absolute classic. A classic. Big-time classic. Man. Do I think Bobby Jackson will make any difference? I love Bobby. I'm a huge fan of Bobby. Will he make a difference in wins and losses? No. If Holly beats the Knicks, the statue will begin to be built. Oh, gosh. Don't forget about Naismith. Don't forget about the other players, too. It wasn't just Haliburton. You know? How did Dallas let go of Rick Carlisle? Rick Carlisle wins wherever he goes. That's very true. Detroit, championship in Dallas, Indiana. Guy's a great coach. Great coach. Tremendous. Really a solid coach. Has been. And, you know, when you win 50 or more games with multiple franchises, Detroit, championship Dallas, right? Indiana, you're a hell of a coach. He's a different dude, Rick Carlisle. I've talked to him many times, but he is a tremendous coach. I would say that about Carlisle. He's a hell of a coach. There's no doubt about that. Do I have any faith in Scott Perry? No, I do not. I don't have any faith in Scott Perry because I know who his boss is. Can we get a Rick C type of a guy? No, you can't. Yeah, Cody, you do have to give Rick Carlisle credit. Well, see, this series is far from over. All right, don't forget tomorrow, same time, 8 o'clock, right here. If you don't like that, Appreciate all of you. Thank you for hanging around after the game. I didn't want to come on while the overtime was playing out. Amir, you are freaking unbelievable. I enjoyed a great lunch today at Bennett's, the West Side Grill, with my boys after school. Thought of you. Amir, thank you so much for that Super Chat donation. It is greatly appreciated. And I'm happy that you had a great lunch with your boys. And I can't wait to get back to Sacramento. I don't have any plans at the moment, but when I do, I will be at Bennett's. Again, thank you very much for that Super Chat, Amir. I think Luca didn't like Rick's coaching style. Well, I'm not sure what's true or what's not true. Thank you for the message. Amir has deep pockets. I don't know if he has deep pockets or not, but he's got a deep heart. The guy's a great guy. And that's more important than deep pockets. Being a good person is more important than having deep pockets. And Amir is a great person. That's what I judge people by, not by how much money they have in their pockets. But he's very generous, and I greatly appreciate that. And he's got a lot of fans here on the website. A lot of fans. But again, I don't judge people by their pockets. I judge people by whether they're good or not. Good person, you're in my life. Bad person, bye-bye. Now, if you got deep pockets and you're a good person, then that's even a better combination. But I don't judge my my friends like that. But I appreciate Amir. Thank you. I appreciate good people. I appreciate loyal supporters. I appreciate everything. I've known Amir. He's been a big-time fan and supporter of mine over the years. And he's a great man. He had a great father who he lost a little more than a year ago. And you can tell the impact that his dad had on him. And he's just like his dad. And that's like a lot of us, like a lot of us. Thank you, Amir. It's not about the pockets. It's all love for Grant. Thank you, buddy. I totally agree with you. I know that you were saying pockets. We'll put that up there. I know it was a typo. Don't worry about it. Got a lot of fans here, Amir. Absolutely. You're right, Patrick. That is a good combo, Patrick. Patrick, I give you a lot of credit for staying up late after that horrible loss. You're a good man. You're a good man. All right, on that note, I will say goodbye until tomorrow. Thank you to everyone. Appreciate you. Love doing this show. Love the fact that you support me and Ryan. Rhino will have his show tomorrow. Don't forget on Tuesdays, he's got Jerry Reynolds on. It's always a fun segment. Have yourself a good evening. Patrick, the sun will rise tomorrow, I believe. Although I believe there's inclement weather coming your way and a lot of rain. Maybe you won't see the sun, but it will be there. You might not be able to see it, but it will be there, Patrick. Take care, everybody. Talk to you tomorrow, 8 o'clock Pacific, right here on If You Don't Like That. And I just want to leave you with this about tonight's game. Oh, if you don't like that, you don't like NBA basketball. Oh, boy. We have got a dandy here in New York. Bye-bye.